my office to confirm.
I need to understand the situation here first.
Please, just call my office. They're 2 miles from here. This is taking valuable time.
I need to complete my investigation properly. I'm requesting you verify what I'm telling you.
The FBI's Atlanta field office at 3000 Flowers Road was less than 2 miles from where Officer Austin Morrison pulled me over in a black Chevrolet Tahoe on Interstate 85 for distracted driving. Close enough that a single radio call would have verified my identity within 60 seconds. But Morrison's 73 days on the job hadn't taught him to verify credentials before making assumptions about who was lying and who was telling the truth. When I told him I was the FBI special agent in charge, handling an active kidnapping case, and showed him my official badge and ID, he didn't see a federal officer. He saw a black man in an expensive vehicle with a story that sounded too perfect. To him, my credentials looked fake. My urgency sounded suspicious, and my insistence felt like a threat. I asked him calmly, just call the FBI office. It's less than 2 miles away. It'll take 60 seconds. But he refused. Instead, he dismissed everything I said, interpreted my frustration as aggression, and my urgency as guilt. What he didn't know was simple. I had spent 27 years earning those credentials. The man he thought was my accomplice was actually his own supervisor, and his refusal to take 1 minute to verify my identity was about to cost him everything. My phone rang at 9:47 a.m. while I was driving south on Interstate 85 toward the FBI's Atlanta field office. I was 54 years old, special agent in charge, a position earned after decades in the Bureau. New York, Washington, D.C., Chicago. This wasn't routine. Angela Hayes was on the line. A 6-year-old girl had been taken, and now we had a lead. A vehicle, moving toward the state line. Time mattered. I authorized coordination immediately. Yes, I was on my phone, but this wasn't casual. This was a kidnapped child. Then I saw the lights. Blue, flashing, in my rearview mirror. I pulled over, reached for my credentials, because this should have been simple. When Morrison approached, I kept my hands visible. Officer, I'm FBI Special Agent in charge Julian Palmer. Active kidnapping case. He looked at my badge, then at me. Suspicion. This looks very official. Too official. I told him, call the field office. Verify. He didn't. Instead, he questioned everything. My identity, my urgency, my truth. I called Sergeant Chun. David, it's me. I've been stopped. Officer thinks my credentials are fake. I need you here. Morrison saw the call and assumed the worst. To him, I wasn't calling a supervisor. I was calling backup. Step out of the vehicle. That's when I realized this wasn't about procedure anymore. This was about perception. I stepped out. Slowly, hands visible, still holding my badge, still asking, verify. But he had already decided who I was. Turn around. Hands behind your back. For what? Impersonating a federal officer. The handcuffs clicked shut. And just like that, 27 years of service meant nothing. I sat in the back of that patrol car, watching the clock. 10:03, 10:05, 10:07. Every second mattered, because somewhere, a child was waiting, and I wasn't there. My license came back clean, valid, but even that didn't change his mind, because once someone decides you're lying, truth doesn't matter. Then I saw another car arrive. Sergeant Chun. He walked straight to me, opened the door, shock on his face. Sir, I'm getting you out. Morrison tried to explain. He's impersonating. Chun cut him off. That's Special Agent in charge Julian Palmer. And you arrested him based on what? I stepped out, looked Morrison in the eye. I asked you to verify. Repeatedly. He said, I didn't know. You didn't know because you chose not to know. Chun made the call. Confirmation came instantly. Everything I said was true. Everything. Give me your badge. Your weapon. You're suspended. 73 days into his career. And it ended right there. My phone buzzed. The child was safe. Relief came. But it wasn't clean. Because for 32 minutes, I wasn't where I needed to be. A woman had recorded everything. Every second. I took her contact. Because now, this wasn't just a mistake. This was evidence. Within 48 hours, he was fired. The footage made it undeniable. Me showing credentials. Him refusing verification. Again and again. Then came federal charges. False arrest, obstruction, violation of rights. His defense said good faith. But good faith doesn't ignore verification. The jury decided in 90 minutes. 18 months in prison. Career over. However, the department changed policies. Verification became mandatory because one call could have prevented everything. I filed a civil case, not for money, for precedent. $2.8 million settlement. But the real impact, system change, accountability. The money went to reform efforts because this was bigger than me. But nothing erased those 32 minutes. Sitting there, handcuffed, watching time disappear. The case ended successfully. The child was safe. But I still wonder, what changed because I wasn't there? I went back to work. Same badge, same role, but different perspective. Because I learned something that day. Rank doesn't protect you. Experience doesn't protect you. Even 27 years doesn't protect you from being seen as suspicious first. Incredible second. Now I document everything, every stop, every interaction, because accountability matters. That moment became training material. Across departments, the lesson was simple. One phone call could have prevented everything. 3 years later, he was out, working retail security. I still carry my credentials, but now I also carry proof, because I understand now how quickly things fall apart. When someone decides who you are, before they verify it, 27 years of service, dismissed in 73 days. Some mistakes and careers, some change systems. This one did both. If you believe verification should come before assumption, then you already understand, because all it takes is one decision, one assumption, one refusal to check, to change everything.